Hello and welcome to techcook.com, the place where we make the internet taste just a little bit better. I am your host, Ryan Bricklemyer. I have, of course, Bree Marie, the most dangerous camerawoman in all the internet, and Mr. Steve, a new addition to the techcook.com team. And of course, as always, we got Peeps up in the building. They're happy because they will be getting food. This is how we do it on our show. Today, we are going to make fantastic baked BMC. And of course, BMC stands for bacon, mac and cheese. Comfort food. It's a little cold outside. We're going to warm it up and have something that's really delicious and really wonderful. And we're going to do it right now. So let's talk a little bit about mac and cheese. And here's what we need to talk about. One, most people use macaroni pasta. It's small, it's tiny. We're not going to use macaroni pasta, we're going to use something else. The other thing, mac and cheese, normally when you make mac and cheese, you just make it with like cheddar. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to make a cheese sauce. If you like any sort of cheese stick or anything like that, this is great for that. And we are, of course, going to use bacon, because it's magic, and tomatoes and some scallions. We're going to do some panko breadcrumbs. It's going to be wonderful. But this is all about making a really good, hearty comfort food. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to slice up some bacon. I chilled my bacon in the freezer a little bit to make it easier to cut. We'll get some nice pieces here. All right, so we got our bacon. We're going to throw this in our pan that's heated a little bit. So we got that going in the back. What we're going to do next is we're going to cut up all the other ingredients that we have. We're going to get everything all set up, and then we're going to make our bechamel sauce, our cheese sauce. All right, so we're going to take our scallions here. And the other thing we're going to add is some tomatoes. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Ryan, why are you adding things to mac and cheese? Listen, mac and cheese is like a blank canvas, right? You could just add and add and add, and it just gets better the more stuff you add. So today we're doing, like I said, some bacon, and we've got some tomatoes here. Got these little grape tomatoes, so we're going to cut these up either in halves or in quarters. I like them chunky. We're going to make a roux today. So a roux is going to be made up of equal parts of flour and butter. And we're going to put those in a pot and let them cook together. What we're doing is cooking the flour. Now you're saying, Ryan, you're making a sauce. Why do you need flour? Well, what a roux does is it's a thickener. It makes our sauce not just be runny. We want something to stick to our pasta for our mac and cheese, and that's what the roux is going to do. It's all about making sure that we have a nice, gooey, and delicious sauce. Pasta, okay? Like I said, most people like to use that elbow macaroni. That's great. That's awesome. I like to use penne rigate. Now, penne is the long pencil pasta. Penne, pencil, that's what it means. Rigate means ridges, and we want to get ridges because we've got this sauce. We want the pasta to hold on to the sauce and grab onto it, and that's why we've got ridges. We're going to pop this into our boiling water with a lot of salt in it. You want your water to taste pretty much like the ocean does. We're going to cook this again in the oven, so we don't need to cook it all the way through. We want to have a little bit of bite left. So as we cook it al dente, so a little bit of bite. So we've got 3 tablespoons of flour, 3 tablespoons of butter, right? Those are going to go in. We've got 2 different kinds of cheese. I've got pepper jack cheese. I like that little spice of flavor that comes with that. And I've got cheddar. And I've got about a half a pound of each, 6 ounces or so, 6 to 8. And then we're going to top our mac and cheese off with panko breadcrumbs. So to start our bechamel, we're going to take our butter and put it into a pot with our flour. We're going to set it on medium-low heat just to get that butter melting. We're going to start with the butter. 1, 2, 3. 3 tablespoons, equal amount of flour is going to go in our pot here, and we're just going to stir that and mix it together. We got our roux here. That's what we're looking for. It's a white roux, a little bit of color in there, but not much. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a cup of milk to this. This goes from roux to bechamel, which is a fancy French word for milk plus butter plus flour. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our milk to this. I got everything all set up, ready for when I'm ready to use it and stir it into the pot that I need it in. Speaking of pots, we got our bechamel sauce going on over here. And that's starting to thicken up. That's just where I want it. And now I'm going to start to incorporate my cheese. Doesn't matter which cheese you start with. If you want to start with the cheddar, go ahead. If you want to start with the pepper jack, fine. If you have a fun cheese that you're using that's not either one of those, that's wonderful. I'm really excited for you. So just a handful at a time. We're taking our cheese and putting it in there and then stirring. We can't just dump in a whole thing of cheese, else you get cheese clumps, and that's not delicious. So this is our cheese sauce. All right, after we get everything incorporated, this should be about the consistency that you have. So drippy and stringy and gooey and delicious and magical. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to keep it moving a little bit. We're actually going to stir in our tomatoes. So we're going to pop these in here and start to stir these in a little bit. This is the best smell. Tomatoes and cheese, absolute best. Until you add scallions, then it's even better. So we're going to add our scallions in and give that a stir. And this is probably getting a little bit thick because one, because I took it off the heat, but two, probably need a little bit of milk. I'm going to add this bacon in here. We're really going to fold this in. We're going to try not to break up the bacon too much. But you can see it's gotten a little bit too stringy in here. So I'm also going to add a little bit of milk when I put it back on the heat. And you'll see how quickly just that little bit of milk has really thinned out our cheese sauce here. We're going to drain off our pasta, and then we're going to add it to our cheese sauce right into the pot in here. So we're incorporating the pasta into the cheese sauce. But you'll see that looks like mac and cheese just like that, doesn't it? I mean, better than any mac and cheese you've ever had. All right, so we got our mac and cheese here. Almost 2 pounds worth. We're going to put this into a big baking dish. And the reason why is we're going to bake our mac and cheese. And we're going to do that because we're going to give it a topping. So kind of spread this around. Make sure you fill up all the corners. And what we're going to do, again, we're just going to top this with the panko breadcrumbs. All right, it's going to create a really nice crust on top and be delicious. This, after we get this topped, is going to go in the oven for about 20 minutes. If after 20 minutes, the panko breadcrumbs on the top are not brown, turn your oven to broil, okay? If you're going to do that, just make sure that you keep an eye on it so things don't burn and you don't have burnt deliciousness, because that's not delicious, so I say. All right, we're going to put this in the oven. 375, 20 minutes. To let this get all gooey and delicious and make that crust on top. It's going to go right in. And that will bake, and that will be our baked macaroni and cheese. It's been about 20 minutes, and our pasta is cooked. And I turned the broiler on real quick just to get that really nice coating on there. So let's take a look and see what we got. Look at that. So delicious. We're going to carefully take this out of the oven. This would be where the oohs and ahs are supposed to come in. All right, so we're going to invite up some of the peeps. Mark, come on up here. Do you like your mac and cheese ooey and gooey?
I do.
All right, good, because that's what we got.
Oh my God.
That's a, oh my God. That is fabulous. So, it's good, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's oh my God good, right?
Yeah, I'm oh my Godding.
He oh my Godded. It's fabulous. All right, so we got a couple little housekeeping things. Number one, make sure you come visit the Facebook fan page. Come in, see the group. Tech Cook fans on Facebook. If you have any questions, want to know anything about the show, email us, techcookfans@gmail.com. And there's this thing out there called the Twitters. Have you heard of it? I've heard of the Twitters. On the Twitters. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/techcook. For Brie Marie, Less Dangerous Steve, the entire peeps, everybody here at techcook.com. Please make yourself and your home a little bit tastier as well, along with the internet. Come back and see us next time. We'll make it something even more fabulous than what you have here, and that's hard to do. See you next time, guys.